Hi everyone, welcome to this Ninja Skills Part 11. Now we're going to be working from lesson 121 on page 156. Now we're going to be talking about Uchi Taimatsu attack torches. So what is Uchi Taimatsu attack torch? What does that mean? Basically, when Shinobi are creeping up to the enemy and they're getting closer and closer, there's usually a fence there, or there's an area where the enemy are, and it's dark because Shinobi have crept in. Now what they have is a torch. Now this torch is usually split wood, which is turned around, or made into a circle and bound with probably some sort of tar or fire or gunpowder mixed with resin inside of it, with a weight at one end and a spike to keep it in. And the idea is that you throw it and it will stay bottom heavy and it will hit the ground and stand upright, and the flame won't go out because it's got lots of chemicals in it, and it will burn and burn and burn, and you can then look at the area. These are meant to be done in multiples. Maybe like 10 or 20 torches get thrown in from different angles and it illuminates the entire area because they all stand not upright but at least on their side, so the flame is going up. Now the kanji is uchi, which means to strike, and taimatsu, which means torch, so striking torch. So not a torch that you strike down, this is to strike the enemy. There's actually close torches where you can run your blade down it and ignite things, versus igniting it and throwing it and striking it. It crosses over in the English language. Now according to my research, there are 3 different types of ends. You can see here we've got the spiked end, we've got the T-whisk end, and which is made of iron, and we've also got the crossbars, which are made of wood. Now the reason for the crossbars is you throw it in, and because it's it's an X, it will land some way, but it's usually landing at a 45-degree angle. The other ones you can at least get to stand, throw them and they'll stand vertical, hopefully, or at least, get as close to vertical as you can. So guys, you got to remember, these are going to be attached to you or taken. But remember, Chikamatsu Shigenori says that the fire thrower is there and there's an assistant fire thrower who gives him the stuff to throw. So there's someone lighting it and then you're throwing it, and people are then attacking in at the same time. This is teamwork. So one person is a fire handler, or a few people are fire handlers. And then you've got attack people who go in. But you also got different versions where people throw them and then run in anyway. So there's lots of ways to do this. So have a go, see what you think. Try and make some of those the spiked ends. Try and make a a Uchi Taimatsu. Shinobi Taimatsu is different. So be careful. A Shinobi Taimatsu means torch for a Shinobi, which is infiltration. Uchi Taimatsu means a torch for when you run in and strike, but you've crept up there anyway, so they're close. I nearly made that mistake. Right guys, see you next time. Hi everyone, today we're carrying on with Ninja Skills Part 12 and we're doing Fireball, so you get yourself a copy of the book here to keep up to date with us. Now this is lesson 127 on page 159. Okay, fireballs. Great balls of fire, of course. So the idea is you'll make a mixture based on something flammable. There are different recipes for this in all the ninja manuals, but the idea is that you're making something, a powder that's flammable, but then you mix it with something that binds it, like glue or resin or something like that. There are multiple versions of this. And what you do is you roll these balls, you get this mixture into a dough, so you've got like almost a gunpowder with a gluey dough, and you're rubbing it, and sometimes, I've experimented with this, it's better to put a layer of the flammable powder down so you can roll it like you would use flour in baking. So the idea is you can keep going and it doesn't stick all over your hands. And you pack it and pack it and pack it until you roll it into a perfect ball. And then what you do is you let it dry. And then when you infiltrate and you need to find somewhere, you blow it and it ignites. And you leave it to ignite long enough and you can throw it or roll it. If you throw it, I've experimented with these. If you throw them really hard, then they go out. But if you roll them or throw them gently into a corridor, then the idea is that the ball stands there and the fire is on top, so it doesn't burn the floor. And it would be very difficult to put like oak floorboards on fire with a little flame like that. And the idea is you sort of like, you put it down the corridor and it ignites the place and you can see. Or if there's a dark area, you throw it into the dark area and it illuminates everything. So this is not for attacking, this is more for checking. So you're walking, you don't know what's there, you think maybe you hear something, or you're creeping down a corridor at night and you just roll it very gently and it should illuminate to check if there's anybody waiting. So you can imagine the Shinobi rolling this down, and as it rolls down, there's just, it illuminates a guy with a spear like, man, waiting for you, mate. Or it's just empty and then he can pick it up. And remember, they put these out as well in the Shinobi Hiden. It talks about using these with grass, and he puts them out, or you blow on it and reburst it, and you can keep checking, and you can hold them in your hand for quite a long time while they're on fire. So, and then you just put them out and then relight them. It's quite good, actually. We've been Shinobi, or in Shinobi training, you've got to get used to being burnt a few times, basically. You've got to you just get used to, oh, that was hot. Okay, I'll get better later. So that's how you deal with that. Right, okay, guys, keep up to date. Don't forget, get yourself a copy of the book. Keep up to date, and look forward to seeing you next time. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this. We're going to be doing Ninja Skills Part 13. Now, today we're going to be on lesson 130 on page 165, but I need to sort something out with the book. There's a problem in the book. Now, fortunately, but also unfortunately, this problem came with the publisher, not with me. You will see, I'll put the image on the front of the screen now.
You'll see on the screen now the picture that's actually in the book. And if you look here, you can see it says a waning crescent. This should be waning gibbous. So please be aware of that. The reason this happened is after we gave them the original image, which I'll now put on the screen, there's the image we sent to the publisher. And what they have to do is reform it in their own words, in their own format and in their own font, and move it into the typesetting phase. But the person who has done it has typed the wrong thing. They've typed waning crescent twice. So unfortunately, this is of course a waning gibbous. So please adjust that in your copy of the book and make sure that you keep it in mind whenever you do or use this page. So from here on in, we will use the image that I originally submitted to the publisher. So please make a mark in your book to make sure you don't get it wrong. Okay, let's crack on with the lesson.
When you deal with the moon, you've got to realise that there are multiple stages. Now, full moon here is actually the big bright version, and we all know this because it says full and it's full. But new moon, this is totally black. Now, it's new moon because it's about to start. There's actually technically no light on the moon when it's a new moon. Now then you get quarter moons. So you get the last quarter and the first quarter. But it's all in a bit of a roundabout way. So it is a little bit deceiving. So just make sure you check this chart, of course making the correction. That was the mistake from the publisher, but check the chart and go through it. First you get full moon, of course. And what happens here is you can realise that the darkness comes from the right hand side. Now this is waning gibbous. What it means by gibbous is you can see that the light is like a small circle, not a crescent. It's the opposite of crescent. And what you get is the darkness comes from the right and moves to the left. Okay, so as you can see there, we move to last quarter. There, the last quarter, and then it moves to waning crescent. As you can see in waning crescent, it means it's going lower and lower. So waning means the light is getting less until you get to new moon. New moon then goes to waxing crescent. This again comes from the right. So it comes always from right to left. Right to left. Darkness, right to left. Light, right to left. And you get this waxing crescent. It's getting bigger. Then you can see it gets to the first quarter. Then you can see it gets to waxing gibbous, which means it's getting bigger. And you can see, and then we're back to full moon. So again, guys, I apologise for the publisher's misprint there. I do apologise for that. So please write in pencil next to it the correct term, and hopefully we'll get that corrected in the future. But go outside, have a look and watch the moon, or get an application on your phone, an app, and go through it and you'll see the moon it goes like that each time from right to left. Boom, boom, darkness, light, darkness, light. It's really quite interesting, especially when you speed it up on your phone. Right, guys, see you next time. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. It's Ninja Skills. We're going to be working from this book and we're going to be working from page 25 and lesson 7. That one there. Okay, the 3 fears of the Shinobi. So fear, overthinking, underestimation. Now, Fujibayashi sensei is saying that if you have these 3 things or you don't deal with these 3 things, you're going to have problems as a ninja. So let's go through them. So fear. People don't realise how difficult a ninja's job is. You've got to go into enemy territory alone or possibly with a couple of mates. It's really, really, really scary. You try going just into a woods at night on your own or try crossing a mountain on your own at night. Now you do it across to an enemy territory, go into an enemy village, infiltrate the enemy, possibly in a war zone, through snake-infested lands, you know, because Japan, I promise you, is snake-infested with mamushi. You always see the locals giving it this, yeah, just in case there's a snake with a bush. Always do it. And then ninjas can't be going bang, 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 get rid of the snakes. They've got to creep through and hope they don't get bitten. Always freaks me out that how ninjas do that. So basically, and then they've got to go and infiltrate the enemy and get through the enemy defences. Fear is just going to be bounding away inside. You're going to be absolutely in fear. So Fujibayashi sensei is saying you've got to get rid of fear. It's not impossible. You can't get rid of it, but you've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with the fear of going in and just go for it. But then he's saying overthinking. So it creates the, right, go from this angle, I'll do that. If they do that, then there's this and this will happen. I'm going to make this move, but the enemy will make this move. And if they make move, I should make... Basically, you end up at a really far point from where you need to be. So the overthinking is always a problem, because if you start here and you've got a problem, you think, what would they do? Okay, I would do that. And when you get to about 3 steps away, you're into the, it's not even the same situation anymore. So you've got to be really careful. You've got to be like, I've got to be able to do this on the fly, but I need to have a backup plan, or 2 backup plans. But when you start going into, they do that, I do this, they do that, and we on at this end, you're way off. You're like, you've lost the point of what you're doing. So get rid of the fear, or at least control the fear. Have a backup plan, but don't go ridiculously. Just keep it light, keep it easy, keep it relaxed, and be ready to work on the fly. And the last one is underestimation. This is quite important, this, because one of the things Sun Tzu says is you've got to demonize your enemy and make them subhuman. So you've got this idea of the enemy is below you. The enemy is not you. You're master. They need to be defeated or brought at least to your superior ways. But the problem with that is you start thinking that they're not so clever. And they are. They're humans and they're clever. Irrelevant how stupid someone is, they're still humans, which means they're way on the scale of the animal kingdom and they're up there and they have the basic idea of don't let that guy in, or he isn't one of us, or he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak like us. You don't have to be intelligent to go, you're not from round here. Do you know what I mean? That's all it takes is, we don't use that word. Like I was at my friend's house the other day, and all 3 of us, because we're Northern English, had 3 different words for the same thing, for a barm cake, a muffin, or a bap. No, tea cake. They use tea cake. Heresy. A tea cake for a muffin. And if you Americans are thinking, I mean muffin, no, an English muffin. And not the English muffin you get in a packet. A barm cake. So look up a barm cake, which is actually called a muffin by real people, and not a barm cake, because that's a cake. And it's not a tea cake, because that's also a cake. It's a muffin. But we 3 of us were arguing about it, and we're like, yeah. So you get this idea that they don't know. And sorry, my point being is, if I walked into a place and said muffin, and they were like, you mean a barm cake? And I'm like, no. Do you mean a tea cake? And they'd be like, you're clearly not from round here. And I mean, it's that simple. One word will give you away. Even though I've got a Northern English accent, I could be like, can I have a muffin? And they'd be like, where are you from, mate? Just, you know, where's that from? So that's my point, is a ninja has to realise even the stupidest person will clock those things. So a ninja has got to be like, don't underestimate the enemy. Oh, they're stupid, they won't realise. They will. They will get it. They might not be academically clever. They might not have the greatest traditions. They might not have a social system as good as yours because you want to enforce your way on them. But still, they're going to be able to clock you because they're not stupid. Right, guys, so that's Ninja Skills. Get yourself a book, keep up along. We're nearly at the end. The next video, I'm afraid, will be the end of the series. But you can go back and watch them all with the book. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this Ninja Skills. We're going to be working from Ninja Skills by Watkins, and today we're on our final one. We're on the final one, which is lesson 447 on page 190. So we're on that page, and the lesson is detaching from life and death. Right guys, to round this series off, we're talking about detaching from life and death, which is very difficult to do. This of course has its roots in Buddhism and the idea of samsara and the idea of the cycle of birth and death. You come, you go, you come, you go, you build up karma, you delete karma, you get through, and the idea is eventually to leave the idea of life and death behind and depart and then become enlightened. So the point being is that a ninja is always in a position where he's in fear, really. A ninja's life is kept with fear, and we did that in the last video, because at the end of the day you've got to deal with the enemy and you've got to do it alone. You don't have the comfort of being with an entire army. You're beyond the army, you're often on the other side of the line in enemy territory, so you're in fear. So a lot of the time you've got to look to Buddhism, Christianity, whatever it is. The idea is you have to have a religious view that takes you beyond that. This is my one life, there is no life after death. If I die, that's it, you know, I'm gone. Part of the idea of the ninja is understanding the idea of Buddhism and that you will come back again. Now this is fundamental to Japanese ways, but the point I'm trying to make is that the ninja existed inside a state of fear a lot, so they had to have a lot of ways to handle fear. Same as Japanese swordsmen, there's a lot of this talked about in Japanese swordsmanship, and it starts to go in the esoteric. What you've got to be careful here is it's okay to get into the esoteric with ninjas, with samurai and everything, but you've got to start from the basics. You've got to start from the, you know, the practical, or start from the esoteric and build with a practical idea. There's nothing worse than starting at the esoteric, going to the esoteric and ending up at the esoteric. You get a lot of people out there who deal with a lot of that, but there's no structure there. So make sure you get your practical training in, you get your philosophical training, and then you get your religious, you know, afterlife spiritual training in. So you've got to be, you know, you've got mental training, you've got this idea of being able to physically do it, being fit enough to get over the mountain, but then at the same time not mind so much if you get killed, because you believe you will come back. Of course that's quite ridiculous for today's age. We are not doing that, but the point is that you've got to study the idea of that of mortality, and that you will die and possibly die on this mission. Even if you don't believe in an afterlife, are you doing it for the better of people, or are you doing it for cash? Because I'm doing this for cash. Is the cash risk worth the risk I'm taking because my life is going to end? Or if I'm doing it for loyalty, is it worth it? Do I really believe in this Lord? Do I believe in the idea of the wheel of samsara? Do I believe in karma? You've got all this to think about and come to the solution on your own. Now the ninja manual say you've got to detach yourself from life and death, i.e. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I've got to stay alive, or I'm going to die, or I don't want to die, I don't want to die, you know, or like, oh fuck it, I'll just kill myself, you know. You've got to really detach from that argument, no matter which side of it you're on. Put it to one side and focus and get in there and deal with things in a practical way, basically. But obviously you've come to that arrival through understanding, you know, deeper Buddhist concepts and all of these types of things. Now, my name's Antony Cummins. This is the end of the series. This is it. This is the end. And that was Ninja Skills by Watkins. That's 15 videos, 15 different lessons. There are actually about 150 lessons in this book. In fact, yeah, there are 150. So in this series, you've had 10% of the book. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, please do get yourself a copy. Go back, go through it, have a read, go back through this series and see where you get to. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we will be doing different videos in the future.